I never thought I'd find myself in this kind of situation. It all started when my best friend, who also happens to be straight, invited me to spend the weekend at his cabin in the woods. We've always had an incredible bond, one that goes beyond friendship, so I didn't think twice about accepting his invitation. As we arrived at the cabin, the atmosphere was charged with excitement and anticipation. We spent the day hiking through the trails, laughing at each other's jokes, and reminiscing about old times. As the sun began to set, we started a bonfire and sat down to enjoy the warmth of the flames and the crisp night air. We talked about everything under the stars, our dreams, fears, and even relationships. He shared stories about his past girlfriends, and I couldn't help but feel a pang of envy. I had never been in a serious relationship, partly due to my own reservations about being openly gay. As the night wore on, our conversation became more intimate. He asked me about my love life, and I hesitated at first, unsure of how he would react. But he looked at me with a reassuring smile and told me he valued our friendship above all else. That was all the encouragement I needed. I took a deep breath and opened up to him, sharing my experiences and feelings. He listened attentively, his eyes locked on mine, and then, in a moment that felt like it was out of a movie, he reached out and gently held my hand. My heart raced, and I felt a rush of emotions I had never experienced before. In that instant, everything changed. Our hands intertwined and the connection between us deepened. It was as if the universe had conspired to create this intimate, unexpected moment. We leaned in, our lips met, and it was like fireworks exploding in the night sky. The kiss was soft and tender, filled with a mixture of curiosity and longing. Time seemed to stand still as we pulled away, both of us stunned by what had just happened. We exchanged uncertain glances, unsure of how to process the whirlwind of emotions that had taken us by surprise. But then he smiled at me, a smile that held a promise of understanding, acceptance, and a newfound level of closeness. As the weekend came to an end, we returned to our normal lives, but with a secret shared between us. Our friendship remained as strong as ever, and we continued to create beautiful memories together. While that unexpected romantic experience brought a new dimension to our relationship, it also taught me that love and connection can transcend labels and expectations. It was a chapter of my life that I would always cherish, a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful moments are the ones we never see coming. A few weeks after that unexpected and intense moment with my best friend, life seemed to settle back into its regular rhythm. We talked and laughed like we always did, but there was an unspoken understanding between us, a shared secret that bound us even closer. Then, out of the blue, he called me one evening. His voice held a mix of excitement and nervousness as he explained that he had planned another weekend getaway to the cabin. I was surprised by the invitation, wondering if he was feeling the same pull between us that I had been feeling. I agreed without hesitation, my heart racing at the thought of spending more time together, just the two of us. As the weekend approached, I couldn't help but feel a mix of anticipation and uncertainty. I wondered if our second trip would be as magical as the first, or if the weight of our shared secret would change things between us. When the day finally came, I packed my bags and made my way to the cabin. As I walked through the familiar trails, I couldn't help but remember the moments we had shared on our previous visit. The laughter, the deep conversations, and that unexpected kiss that had forever altered our relationship. When I arrived at the cabin, he greeted me with a warm hug, and I felt a rush of emotions flood over me. It was clear that he was just as excited and nervous as I was. Throughout the weekend, we fell back into our easy camaraderie, as if we had never been apart. We hiked, cooked meals together, and sat by the bonfire, just like before. But there was an underlying tension between us, a magnetic pull that grew stronger with each passing moment. It was as if the universe was urging us to confront the feelings that had been simmering beneath the surface. One night, as we sat under a blanket of stars, he turned to me and said, that kiss we shared, it meant something to me. I looked into his eyes, searching for any sign of doubt or regret, but all I saw was honesty and vulnerability. I took a deep breath and confessed that the kiss had meant something to me too, something I had never felt before. We talked for hours, laying bare our fears, hopes, and desires. It was a conversation that solidified the connection between us, a connection that was undeniably romantic yet beautifully undefined. In the weeks that followed our second cabin getaway, our connection deepened even further. Our daily conversations were infused with a newfound intimacy, and we both found ourselves eagerly looking forward to each interaction. It was as if the barriers that had once defined our relationship had crumbled, leaving room for something beautiful and uncharted to blossom. One evening, as we were chatting on the phone, he hesitated for a moment before finally asking, "Hey, I've been thinking, would you like to go on a real date with me?" My heart skipped a beat at his words, and a rush of excitement coursed through me. I couldn't believe that the person I had admired and cared for so deeply was now asking me out on a date. With a smile in my voice, I replied, I would love to. We decided to meet at a charming little cafe in the heart of the city. As the day of our date approached, a mix of nerves and anticipation filled my every thought. I spent hours trying to decide what to wear and how to make sure everything went perfectly. When the day finally arrived, I found myself standing outside the cafe, my heart pounding in my chest. I spotted him through the window, sitting at a corner table, and I couldn't help but feel a wave of warmth and comfort wash over me. As I walked in, his eyes lit up and he greeted me with a smile that made my worries melt away. We spent the evening talking, laughing, and sharing stories over cups of coffee and plates of delicious food. The conversation flowed effortlessly, just like it always did. But there was an undeniable undercurrent of romantic tension that made the air between us crackle with electricity. At one point, he reached across the table and gently held my hand, his touch sending shivers down my spine. "I'm so glad we're doing this," he said softly, his gaze locked on mine. "Me too," I reply, my heart swelling with affection. As the evening came to a close, he walked me to my car. We stood there for a moment, the air thick with unspoken words and unexpressed emotions. Then he leaned in and kissed me, a sweet, tender kiss that spoke volumes about how far we had come and the path we were now walking together. From that day on, our relationship took on a new dimension. We continued to go on dates, explore new places, and share countless moments of joy and connection. The months that followed our unforgettable date were filled with shared adventures, quiet moments of intimacy, and a growing sense of togetherness. Our relationship had evolved into something truly special, a unique blend of friendship and romance that defied any conventional norms. Every day felt like a gift, a chance to deepen our connection and explore the uncharted territory of our hearts. One evening, as we sat on a park bench, watching the sunset paint the sky with hues of gold and pink, he turned to me with a serious yet gentle expression. "There's something I've been wanting to ask you," he began, his voice filled with a mixture of nervousness and determination. My heart skipped a beat, and I held my breath in anticipation of what he was about to say. With a deep breath, he continued, "I thought a lot about us, about what we mean to each other, and I've realized that I don't want to imagine my life without you in it. So I wanted to ask you, would you officially be my boyfriend?" His words hung in the air, and the weight of the moment settled over us like a cozy blanket. Tears welled up in my eyes as I looked into his earnest gaze, feeling a rush of emotions that I struggled to put into words. "Yes," I whispered, my voice filled with love and conviction. "Yes, I would be honored to be your boyfriend." A radiant smile spread across his face, and he pulled me into a tight embrace. It was a moment of pure joy and affirmation, a testament to the incredible journey we had embarked on and the depth of our feelings for each other. As the years went by, our relationship continued to thrive. We built a life together filled with shared dreams, laughter, and unwavering support. We faced challenges head on and celebrated the milestones that marked our journey. Our love felt unbreakable, a bond forged through the fires of adversity and strengthened by the unyielding commitment we held for each other. But life has a way of throwing unexpected curveballs, and our story took an unforeseen turn. One day, as I was going about my usual routine, I stumbled upon something that shattered the foundation of trust we had built so carefully. It was a message, a conversation that revealed a painful truth. He had betrayed our love. My heart sank and a wave of disbelief washed over me. I confronted him, tears streaming down my face, and he confessed to his transgression. The pain was indescribable, as if a piece of my world had crumbled beneath me. The love that had once felt invincible was now tainted by betrayal, and the future we had envisioned together suddenly felt uncertain. We talked for hours, trying to make sense of what had happened. He expressed regret and remorse, acknowledging the gravity of his actions and the hurt he had caused. He told me he still loved me and wanted to find a way to make things right, but the trust that had been shattered couldn't be easily repaired. In the days and weeks that followed, I grappled with a whirlwind of emotions: anger, sadness, confusion, and a deep sense of loss. It was a painful journey of navigating heartbreak and reevaluating the love that had once felt unbreakable. I had to make a difficult decision, whether to try to rebuild what was broken or to let go and move forward on my own. Ultimately, I chose to take the path of healing and self-discovery. It wasn't an easy choice, and the road ahead was filled with its own challenges. I leaned on my support system of friends and family, seeking solace in their understanding and compassion. I embarked on a journey of self-care and reflection, working to rebuild my sense of self and find a way to mend the wounds that had been inflicted. Though our love story took an unexpected and painful turn, I am grateful for the moments we shared and the lessons we learned together. While the betrayal shattered the romantic aspect of our relationship, the bond we had formed as friends remained a testament to the genuine connection we once had. Life's twists and turns may sometimes lead us down difficult paths, but they also present opportunities for growth, resilience, and the discovery of our own inner strength. As I moved forward, I held on to the belief that my heart would heal and that, in time, I would find a love that was built on a foundation of trust, understanding, and true companionship.